prepping up our chicken brooder. We are getting ready to bring in some new baby chicks. And we have our fancy copper tone shelving brooder that we made about 4 years ago. It works really good. It's about 4 by 4. Let's see if we can get it in here. We keep our chicks in the basement because we have a wood stove in here. And it keeps them nice and toasty warm. So they stay in here until they're feathered out and ready to go outside. That's why the brooder is so big. So to start off, we section off a small spot for the first few days for the chicks so they can kind of stay near the light and be warm. And there's enough room for our feeders. We have little plastic feeders. I use glass mason jars. You don't have to buy that plastic thing that goes on them. So there's plenty of room for, we're probably going to do about 10 chicks this year, 8, 10, something like that. So this gives them plenty of room in here for the first couple of days. And then once they start moving away from the light a little bit and running around a little bit more, then we'll open this up so they have more space. And it's only about probably 15 inches tall inside. I've got a layer of paper towels down. And for the first couple days we use paper towels so they know what is food. We're introducing them to food, and we don't want them eating the pine shaving. So after about 3 days we switch them over to pine once we're sure they're eating good. We put a layer of fresh cardboard down underneath the chicks, and we change this cardboard out about once a week for them. And then on top of that we have the paper towels, and we'll change those paper towels every day until they move over to shavings, which is about day 3 or 4. So that makes it really easy. You can just roll up the whole thing and lay out a new layer of paper towels. And when you're done with the paper towels, the cardboard helps with the keep the pine shavings all together really good. So it's really easy to clean that way. And so we just are making sure we're going to be turning on our light here. We use with just a little $8.99 chicken light from Tractor Supply that we got. And we use a rough service bulb. I don't know if you can see it. We don't use a heat lamp because they kind of scare me. I'm afraid of fire. But we keep a thermometer in here, an old one. It had the exterior wire ripped off, so it says it's minus 43 degrees all the time, minus 40 degrees, and outside. So, and then the bottom is the indoor temperature. It's 63 right now. We don't have the wood stove going today because it's kind of nice out there. And but they can poop on that, whatever. We really don't care about it. We use whatever we have that's, you know, working. So we're going to plug in our light bulb and get this heated up and make sure it comes up to 100 degrees for them. And we cover this with like a blanket at night. Just keep the heat in. We don't cover the light or get anything close to the light. So we don't want them to light on fire. We like a fried chicken, but not our layers. Just for getting started, we like to start our, if we have any mail order chicks or from the feed store or whatever, we start them on a medicated feed. We don't do this with chicks we start ourselves that we hatch here, but I do like the medicated feed for if we're getting chicks from that come through the mail, just to help them stay healthy and with their systems and everything and what they encounter while they're traveling. You know, I just like to rather be safe than sorry. So it's just one small little 5-pound bag, and then they get switched over to non-medicated feed. This is just the very first starter. We want to have a feeder and a waterer available. We do one water to start with. As they get a little bit bigger, sometimes we'll keep 2, so we always have 2. The little plastic pieces for the feeder and the waterer are, I think they're about $2.50 or $3 at Tractor Supply. They're pretty inexpensive, but I bought these 5 years ago, and I just use the glass mason jars because they fit on there nice, and it's great that they're not expensive pieces, but every penny counts, and so we keep these, and as long as you keep them nice and clean, they're good for years and years and years. Okay, so one other thing, that if you're getting your chicks through the mail or from a feed store or anything, they usually get them through the mail as well. You're going to want some of these probiotics. You don't have to use them, but the chicks are pretty stressed out and they haven't had any food yet. They get stuck right in a box when they're born, and you know, inoculated, whatever they get, their shots, and stuffed in a box and thrown in the mail, and they're off for 3 or 4 days before you get them. So they really are stressed out. So we like to add some probiotics and some electrolytes to their water just to get them started for the first few weeks or so. Want to make sure they're nice, good, and healthy, get a good start. I don't do this when I hatch out my own chickens. Again, this is just something, it's a little different when they're coming through the mail. I will be getting another rooster, and because I really don't like getting chicks through the mail, but you know, availability, you get what you can, make do with what you have. So the probiotics and the electrolytes are really easy to use. You just mix 1 packet in a gallon of water, has the directions right on the packet. You get 3 packets for like $3, $2.50 or $3, and they are great for turkeys, chickens, any kind of ducks, poultry, whatever you have. And you can use these for big birds, little birds, whatever. Sometimes we use electrolytes in the summer for our full-grown chickens once in a while, just to give them a little extra when it gets really hot. We're in a pretty cold climate, but we get pretty hot a couple of weeks in the summer. So when they get stressed out, we like to give that to them. But that is about all you need when you're getting started with chicks the first time. You can use a plastic tote. You don't need a big giant brooder pen like I have. It's pretty big. We have a small little run-in we used to use for the sheep. Just we had small sheep, so it's pretty small, like a 4x4, just to get them out of the weather. We're going to be converting that for a little grow-out pen for the chicks as the spring progresses. So, but this is just a little bit of some ways to get prepared before you get your chicks. That way when you come home, you're not all stressed out, what do I need? You're not searching. This is a nice, easy way. You can have these things on hand. When you bring your chicks home, you have everything you need, which is great. And you can enjoy your chicks more, because we like to play with them and teach them how to eat out of our hands. And, you know, we don't really grow meat birds, just well, the birds we raise, usually we try to pick a dual purpose bird. So if we have to eat them, we can, but we really don't like to eat our hens. Where there are breakfast makers and our buddies. But that is it for this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.